Hey guys, Lund with a quick video on how to Hey guys, Lund here. This is a quick video to show you how the pro players always land their smokes perfectly. It's not because they're just insanely more precise than you are, they just have a way of doing it, so I'm going to show you now. If you go into Counter-Strike, you'll go into this map you download from the workshop. It's called a crosshair generator. If you go into that map, you can get a lineup crosshair, and it's pretty much what it does is you just have a crosshair size of 1000 when you make your crosshair, and then just make it a regular steady crosshair that isn't dynamic, just a static crosshair, which goes from the far left to the far right of your screen and from the top to the bottom. It will look like this, and this will pretty much make you able to line up any smokes perfectly. So what you do is you can pick any crosshair here that you want. So you go to the back here and you find this Flippy Kit crosshair, and you just press it, and after you just shoot this button, and after you shoot this button you go here and then you press share crosshair, and you get the file, you get the lines that you need for your crosshair, so you copy that. The next thing you do is you go to your Counter-Strike folder and you go into the folder called CFG. So it's located up here, as you can see. And what you want to do is you want to create a CFG file, which is pretty much just a notepad file, and you just edit in CFG. Make sure it's like and you call it whatever you want. For example, these two are mine. I have some different that I used once before, but I could pretty much just delete them. These two that I am going to show you now are the most important: crosshair lille and crosshair lineup. And crosshair lille just means crosshair small in Denmark, in Danish. And that's the crosshair that I use regularly, and the other is the lineup crosshair. So if I go into this crosshair lineup file, what you're gonna see is, I'm gonna show you right now. It looks like this, and it has all the lines of the crosshair, and I can execute all these files at the same time with one line. So the next thing I'm gonna do is you go into your auto execute file, located right here, and you make two binds. And the way to make binds is to add these lines into the auto execute file. You bind one button, for example N, to execute the normal crosshair, and then you bind another button to execute the lineup crosshair. That means when you press H, you will get like a helper crosshair that can help you line up smokes, and when you press N you go back to the normal crosshair. So it's actually really easy to do. I'm going to show you now where it can be useful. So let's say, for example, this is especially true for Mirage, that there are some smokes that you can throw that just are really hard to line up if you don't have a crosshair like this, and that definitely help you. And there are ways to play around it, like you can just play without them and you'll probably do fine on most rankings. But if you really want to be like nerdy about it, you can land some of the best smokes this way. I'm going to show you two smokes now. I'm going to show you one from back alley into the middle window, which is useful if your team is on a B split and you have two guys in the middle or one guy in the middle, and all you want to do is just have a guy smoke connector, and then just go through the middle, and then three guys come out of B apartments. So the way to do it is, see, if I press my two buttons now, it changes my crosshair and changes back. If I go here to back alley, for example, I activate this lineup crosshair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look in this direction, then I'm going to crouch and find this spot here. Then I'm going to look up here, and now I want to line this and this up. So I don't want to line it like perfectly up. I don't want to line it on the edge of this antenna, like not on exactly on the leg, but maybe like 2 pixels to the right. And this would be insanely hard to do with a normal crosshair. But with a crosshair like this, I can almost always make sure that if I know how to throw it, it will always land perfectly. So I can more consistently land hard smokes that will help my team get through middle. My teammate will come out here, and he will go into this box, and he will line up a crosshair with this and this right here, and that will pretty much, here we go, that will pretty much also be very hard to line up if you don't have a lineup crosshair. And what it will do, it will smoke the top of connector, and then you can go through middle to short in safety. You couldn't be able to do this consistently without a lineup crosshair, and this is something that the pros use. So I think that this would be like, if you play in a team, you should definitely have this. I mean, it's like, just have it, okay? Here's another example of where it's nice to have. I mean, of course, if you always throw the same smoke again and again, you get a feeling for it. But I've been on so many puck teams where people have no idea how to smoke connector properly. If they smoke it just regularly, they give the team they give the counter-terrorist team a one-way smoke, which is horrible. Here is another example of where I think the smoke is good to be used. So here we are on nuke, T side, and I'm a terrorist and I want to smoke the smoke wall outside. One of the smokes in the smoke wall outside is where you come into this corner, like so, and then you want to line the top of this one and this one up with each other, and it's kind of hard to do. So you see, right now I would guess that I'm at the lineup of this and this, but I'm not, as you can see. I'm actually too far below, so I have to move it up here, and this would be correct. So I throw it here, and this is one of the smoke will land perfect. And with the other smoke, which you don't need a lineup crosshair for, it will be like you will always land the smokes perfect every time. So that is the guide on the lineup crosshair. Hope it helped.